Hmm? Am I audible, folks? Am I audible? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible? Am I audible? Can you hear me? Am I audible, folks? Okay, yes, I can hear myself. Yeah. Okay. All right, folks. So, good evening. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. So, today, what we are going to do, we are going to analyze and prepare the answer key for your GK. And what I have right in front of me is your set C with me, right, for your CDS 22025 question paper, right? That's what we have. So strictly, so just jump into the question fast. Which of the following metals is widely extracted by the electrolysis of its molten compound? The correct answer to question number one is sodium, right? Sodium chloride, NaCl, right? Which one of the following is not a property of graphene? Graphene is one of the form of carbon, right? Okay, it is the thinnest material so far, that is correct. It is almost completely transparent, which is also correct. It is highly conducting, which is also correct. It is wide band gap semiconductor. Okay, if it is highly conducting, then it cannot be semiconductor, right? Isn't it? Okay, so if C is correct, then D is going to be the wrong answer over here, folks. Okay, why do plastics not degrade easily? The plastics do not degrade easily. Why? Because they don't have ionic bonds, because they have covalent bonds over here, right? Okay, so for question number 3, B is going to be the correct answer, right? Okay, which one of the following is the correct chemical formula of carboxylic acid, right? Carboxylic acid is COOH, right? So only one option over here you have, which is your question number 4. C is the correct answer, right? Which of the following statement is not correct about benzene? Benzene is this particular stuff. If you have learnt about organic chemistry, right? Okay, each carbon atom forms sigma bond with other two carbon atoms with a bond angle 120 degree, which is absolutely correct. Okay, right? Delocalized electron create a symmetrical cloud of electrons above and below the plane, which is also correct in nature. The length of CC bond is intermediate between the single and double bond. Okay, it has 6 isomers, which is over here, which is the wrong answer. Okay, it has multiple isomers, right? Okay, right? With the single compound, with a single compound benzene, you can make millions billions of products out there, right? Okay, which of the following is not a nitrogen fertilizer? Okay, not a nitrogen fertilizer, right? Okay, N2, right? N2 is simply gas, right? It's N2 is gas, right? N2 is gas, folks, right? So which is not the correct answer, right? So question number 6 is the answer. Which one of the following general electronic configuration correctly represents the transition metal element? Okay, transition metal element, I don't know whether it is P block element, right? Okay, if you guys have right, sorry, D block element, right? These are the your transition metal element, right? For this question number 7, answer is going to be n minus 1 into D, right? This is your D block element, right? Okay, D 1 minus 10, right? Transition element means it is going to transition into a full one. Okay, right? The outer layer is going to be full, right? Okay, okay. Variable oxidization numbers are possible, right? Variable oxidization numbers over here are possible for iron, right? Fe2 plus, right? Fe3 plus, likewise. Okay, that is your variable oxidation number, right? Okay, so for question number 8, C is going to be the correct answer. Which one of the following, right? Which one of the following over here gas smells like a rotten egg, right? Rotten egg. Answer over here is going to be hydrogen sulfide. Many of you must have thought of ammonia, which is not the correct answer over here, right? Okay, question number 10, right? The chemical reaction K2SO4 plus BaCl2, that gives you KCl plus BaSO4, right? okay, is an example of, right, okay, right, is an example of what, okay, right. If you look at it, if you look at it more carefully, BaSO4 K2Cl, right, this is what is interchanging, so that is why over here this is the double displacement reaction over here is going to be the correct answer, right, okay. So which one of the following is the correct scheme of the following for the classification of animal, right, okay. You know, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, right, okay. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, that should be remembered to you by your heart, okay. Phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Question number 11, D is going to be the correct answer. Which one of the following is the example of airborne disease, right, okay. Airborne disease is something which is communicable in nature, right, okay. You know, tuberculosis, why somebody when coughs, right, okay, it is said that hey, you don't stay near the person who is coughing, right, because tuberculosis gets spread through air, okay. That is why tuberculosis over here is the correct answer. What are the four human blood type ABO blood group typing, okay, right. So for this particular answer is AB, AB and O, right, okay. We don't have BO, something like BO, AO, right. This is not the right answer. So easily question number 13, B is going to be the correct answer. Not a part of male reproductive system, prostate gland, that is there, testis, scrotum, easy, very sitter question, cervix, that is there in the female. C is going to be the correct answer. Which one of the following are the different parts of human brain, right, okay. Frontal brain, standard brain and hind brain, right. Forebrain, median brain. Do we have something like median brain, right? We don't have anything like median brain, or we don't have anything like standard brain as well, okay. Forebrain, midbrain, hind brain, right, okay. This is the correct answer. Precursor brain also we don't have anything like that. So for question number 15, the brain one, right. I'm solving set C, so accordingly you guys can think through that. Tooth enamel is an example of, right, okay. This question was asked in my NTSC examination way back in 2014 when I wrote NTSC examination in 10th standard, right, okay. And that time I made the mistake of choosing, right, calcium carbonate, CaCO3, right, okay, which is absolutely a wrong answer, right. Over here the correct answer is phosphate, right, okay. Calcium phosphate, it's not sodium hydrogen carbonate, it's not sodium hydroxide, okay, it's not lactic acid. Oh, come on, lactic acid, okay, right. Okay, now let's move on to question number 17 over here, right. The inner lining of the human small intestine, okay, has numerous finger like projections are called. It's not sphincter, right, okay, it's villi, okay, it's villi, right, okay. So it's not enzyme, it's not plaques, obviously, right. It's the finger like projection that is there in your mitochondria as well, okay, right. It is there in your intestine, it is there in your small intestine as well as, it is there in the mitochondria as well, okay. Which one of the following represents the disaccharides, okay, disaccharides, okay, right. For question number 18, starch and glycogen, right, glucose and galactose, right. See, I don't know, I've just googled this answer, so I'm just telling you the answer is maltone and lactose, okay. As far as glucose and its compound are concerned, that is what monosaccharides, okay, right, okay. Which one of the organelles can be seen as prokaryotic cell, right, okay. Eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell means what? Primitive type, right. This is very basics of the biology that they have asked, right, okay. Organelle can be seen in the prokaryotic cell. Definitive nucleus, okay, right. Ribosomes, Golgi body, this is a very close one. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell that is there in your both eukaryotic and prokaryotic, which is not the right answer, right. Definitive nucleus, certain see, this can be your defining one, but definitive nucleus, some prokaryotic cells have nucleus as well, okay. ribosomes carry your DNA, right, okay, deoxy, right, you have this DNA over here, right, okay, so which is the one of the features of prokaryotic cells, okay, right, which carries the genetic materials to the offsprings, and that is not there in your prokaryotic cell, right. A pH solution value less than 7, tell me honestly how much sitter question is this, okay, if the pH is less than 17, absolutely it is going to be an acidic solution, you don't even have to look for any other options over here, folks, right. So for question number 17, C is going to be the correct answer. The rule to determine the direction of the current induced in a coil due to rotation in the magnetic field, okay, right, okay, everybody knows that, okay, Fleming's left hand rule, right, you must have studied Fleming's left hand rule, right, in the Lucent GK book that we have given to you, and as well as this is the basic, right, there are two stuff, right, Fleming's right hand rule and left hand rule, right, okay, the direction of the current, right, induced in a coil due to its rotation in the magnetic field has been given by Fleming's left hand rule, right, okay. So for question number 21, B is going to be the answer. A car travels a total distance of L, travels half of the distance by V1, half of the distance by V2. This question we have been doing since time immemorial, right, okay. If the distance is constant, the average speed is what? Harmonic mean, okay. In maths also, time, speed and distance we have told you thousands of time, 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2, right. The linear momentum of a particle is conserved, right, okay. Net force on it is maximum, net force on it is 0, the net torque on it is 0, the net work done on it is maximum, right, okay. So the linear momentum, right, P is equal to mass into acceleration, right. Somewhere over here your mass is dependent upon force, right, okay. So that is why over here the net force, if the net force is 0, right, so in that case the linear momentum is said to be conserved, right. So when a stone tied to a string is whirled in a circle, right, the work done by the string, right, the work done by the string over here is 0. Why? Because over here displacement is equal to 0, right, okay. It's a uniform circular motion, right, okay, sorry, it's an accelerating circular motion, right. So in that case over here work done is 0. I have taught you guys over here about, centrifugal force, centripetal force and all that over here, right, okay. Assume A does 500 joule of work in X minutes and B does 1000 joule of work in 20 minutes. If the power delivered by A P1 and the B is P2, P1 is equal to 2 P2, then X is X in minutes, okay, right. So 500 joules, right, okay. So over here your 500 joules in X minutes, okay, 500 joules in X minutes, and B does 100 joules in 20 minutes, sorry, 1000 joules in 20 minutes, right. P1 is equal to 2 times of P2, right. If P1 is equal to 2 times of P2, we can simply do it 2 times of that, okay. If you do 2 times of that, means the net output is is how much? 2000 joules, right. If the net output by P1 is 2000 joules, right, okay. So 2000 joules is happening is how much? 20 minutes, okay, because these two time is equated over here, right, okay. So over here for 500 joules over here X minutes will be similarly over here 1/4 of it will be over here in 5 minutes. For question number 25, B is going to be the correct answer, folks. Let's move a bit quick, okay. A sound wave traveling at the speed of 330 meter per second produces 20 crusts and 20 troughs in 0.1 second, right, okay, right, okay. The wavelength of the sound over here, okay. Honestly I've forgotten the formula, how exactly this work out, okay. 20 crust and 20 troughs, okay, 20 crust and 20 troughs, that means 20 complete cycle, okay, right, 20 complete cycle, isn't it, okay. And now 20 complete cycle means 330 divided by 20 over here, this is your something like close to right? How much? 16.5, right? Isn't it? Okay, 20 crust. What is crust and trough? Okay, crust and trough. Okay, this is your crust. Okay, right? Okay, the maximum distance of the wavelength, right, from the this particular line over here, that is called crust. Okay, and then the minimum distance over here is trough. So 20 crust and 20 troughs means this is happening 20 times basically, right? If it is happening 20 times means 330 meter per second divided by 20, that means in each of it is happening 16.5 meter is what it is taking care of. Okay, from now over here also they have given the time is equal to 0.1 second, so easily all of us we could have guessed that 1.65 meter over here is going to be the correct answer. Okay, as of now I'm still collecting my thoughts. Okay, so this is how I would have guessed for this particular question, right? Now X-ray and X-ray can be deflected, right? X-ray can never be deflected neither by electric field nor by magnetic field. So question number 27, the correct answer is going to be D, right? Okay, right? In a simple astronomical telescope, the objective and the eyepiece, right, is respectively are used as, okay, right, in a simple astronomical telescope, right, astronomical telescope, this is your eyepiece, right? There are two of it, right? Okay, and what actually happens over here, okay, right, so over here both of it are over here, convergent lens. Okay, right, convergent lens, right? Okay, what are convergent lens? These lenses. Okay, right, astronomical telescope over here, right? Just check for it. What do you guys think about this? Okay, I'm sure that these are the convergent lens, right? Okay, right, basically your what is this, concave or convex? Okay, this is your concave lens, right, and this is your convex lens, right? Ray comes over here and it diverges like this. Okay, right, so these are your convex lens, right? So for this one, question number 28, D is what going to be the correct answer. Okay, twinkling of stars, I have taught this in the classes also to all of my aspirants over here, right? Okay, twinkling of stars happens because of the refraction of light. Okay, refraction of light is nothing but bending of light. Okay, bending of light. If you take a tub, right, in that tub you pour water, and in that if you drop a stick, the stick will look as if it is bent, right? The stick will look as if it is bent, right? So that is happening because of your refraction of light. Okay, polarization, diffraction, interference, all of this we have been taught already, and if you are preparing for the next attempt you should know what you mean by interference, polarization, diffraction, right? That is how exactly you should be studying. Van de Graaff generator, right? Van de Graaff generator over here, it generates electrostatic charge over here, right? All those of you who have been coming from science background or little bit of engineering and all that, if you have studied, then you will know that this is an extremely sitter kind of question over here, right? Van de Graaff generator is not related to your magnetic field. High voltage, low alternating current, that is about the stabilizer. High voltage, low direct current, that is also not the correct answer. Okay, consider the following event: signing of the Simla agreement, right? Agra summit between India and Pakistan, signing of the SAARC charter at the first SAARC summit. India's first nuclear test was Operation Smiling Buddha, right? So first of all, this was happened, signing of Simla agreement, that was the first thing that happened, and then right after signing the Simla agreement, then India did that Operation Smiling Buddha, right? And post that your signing of SAARC charter, that came into the picture, and Agra summit happened. The latest one was that. Okay, you look for the timeline. Okay, what was the timeline? Okay, I have also taken the help of the chat GPT and stuff to prepare the key. I'll be honest, right? I'm a maths teacher, right? I hope you can give me that one. Okay, so yeah, okay, we'll do maths also, but I'll take a bit of time. I'm still solving the question. I've solved close to 60-70 questions so far. and I'm on the move. So by 18, 19 we'll do maths also, right? So which one of the following feature is not correct about first past the post system of election? First past the post system of election, right? For question number 32 over here, right? First past the post system, right? A candidate who wins may not get the majority of the votes, okay, right? First past the post system, right? This is the correct answer, right? More than one of the representatives may be elected for the constituency, that is wrong answer, right? Voters vote for the party and not for the candidate, that is also wrong answer, right? Every party gets seat in the legislature, that is also not the right answer, okay, right? First past the post system, this is one of the electoral method that you have to look forward to, right? Okay, match the list 1 and 2, article 371, 371A, 370B and 371 I, okay. So for question number 33, right, question number 371 can be, right, okay, it can be matched with Goa over here, right? Why? Because each of the states, you know how exactly they were they were merged with the Indian nation, right? Okay, so for that there are separate articles over here, right? Okay, now for 371A, it talks about your Nagaland and all that, okay, and C over here it talks about the Assam, and D can be mapped with Gujarat over here. For question number 33, A is going to be the correct answer, folks, right? Which one of the following statement as per the Constitution of India is correct? Provision for the reservation of the seats for women in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha has been made wide 1/6th Constitution Amendment Act of the Constitution, right? Okay, so yeah, there has been a bill which is there, which the talks are on, wherein people, they want to talk about, they want to reserve the number of seats for the women over there in the Lok Sabha, but 1/6, that is not the correct answer, it seems, right? There are provisions for the reservation of seats for women in legislative assemblies and legislative council of the states. I think this is a work in progress, people are still contesting for that, okay, right? This is not the correct one, okay. There is provision for reservation of seats in the panchayats, which is an absolutely correct answer, okay. So even if you were supposed to be confused, you could not have ticked these two answer for sure. D over here is the correct answer, right? Okay, these two are work in progress. The mistake over here is in 1/6th Constitutional Amendment Act, which might not be correct, okay, right? Let's move on to the next one, which one of state list and concurrent list, right? Okay, subject to the list under the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India not correctly matched, okay. Which one of these is not correctly matched, okay, right? Okay, forest is a concurrent list, okay. Taxes on land and building, yes, okay, that is absolutely correct, okay. Insurance is the purview of the union list, that is absolutely correct, okay. Census is not a concurrent list, okay. Please correct me if I'm wrong, right? Okay, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm damn sure that census over here is your, right, it's your union list, okay. It is in the union list. Every 10 years the government of India does the census. The first census happened in 1881, okay, right? Okay, write down, folks, what do you guys think about all of this, right? Okay, which of the following statement with reference to the preamble, hot cake kind of question, preamble, they ask it thousands of times to the Constitution of India. The word secular comes before the word socialist, okay. India is the sovereign secularist, how is that, okay, sovereign secularist, how is that, okay, right? The word justice comes before the equality, fraternity, liberty, equality and fraternity, right? The word fraternity comes after the word liberty, right? The word, yes, third number is absolutely correct, okay. So which means A is not your answer, right? The word India is a socialist secularist, yeah, socialist secularist, right? Okay, socialist and then secularist, right? Okay, socialist and then secularist, okay. So the word secularist come before. No, the word secularist come after that. Okay, which means your option C and D over here are wrong answer. So for question number 36, we'll go ahead with, right, we'll go ahead with over here 36 B. Many times they will also ask, like, under which constitutional amendment act the word secularist was added. It was 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, folks. You have to keep that in mind. Okay, which one of the following statement about motions in the Parliament of India is concerned, right? Okay, motion of no confidence can be admissible against an individual minister in the Council of Ministers, not just individual ministers, okay, even including the PM also, right? And no confidence motion set out grounds on which it is based, okay, right? Rajya Sabha is not empowered to, what is that, which of the following statement about motion is correct? Okay, Rajya Sabha is not empowered to entertain a motion of no confidence. Okay, see, obviously Rajya Sabha as compared to Lok Sabha is much less powerful, right? Okay, much less powerful, but they have a say, right, in the motion, right? No confidence motion, right? And motion can be, it can be a no confidence motion, right? I do not have faith in the current government, right? Okay, so it is like that. Okay, so it's not empowered, it is not that harsh, right? So the 37 C is not going to be the answer. A censure motion need not be based on specific grounds and charges. Okay, now that motion type they have given, censure motion is also, right, it has to have some grounds, folks, right? A motion of no confidence can be admissible against an individual ministers in the Council of Ministers. Okay, looks correct, okay, because individual minister, because even PM is some minister or the other, right? Okay, the more correct answer is a no confidence motion must set out grounds on which it is based. Okay, it has to clearly specify as to why this motion is being pursued. Okay, so that is the answer for question number 37. Okay, my answer has been it has been supplemented by Google and ChatGPT as well, so you can trust that. Okay, part 4A of the Constitution of India deals with which of the following areas, right? Okay, question number 38, part 4A, right, it is related to the fundamental duties over here, folks, right? Okay, appointment of members of the public commission, function of public service commission, provision of the functions of the state governments. That is not the current, Durand line, very hot cake kind of question. Durand line, okay, question number 39, right? Durand line is between Afghanistan and Pakistan, right? Similarly, McMahon line, okay, Radcliffe line, each of these you have to know. All of these are there in your Lucent GK book that you should have studied. Okay, consider the following: Chipko movement, Bardoli Satyagraha, Satya Sodak Samaj. Which one of the following is the correct chronological order, starting from the earliest of the launch of the above social movement? Okay, I am not quite sure about the particular date, but as far as I know, that Satya Sodak Samaj was the very first in the line which came into being, right, as far as I know, right? So these two are not your right answer. I'll go ahead with these two, but as I checked the answer, what I knew is that, okay, over here, right, Chipko movement over here was the latest amongst all of these three answers over here, folks, right? Okay, right? Tashkent agreement, Tashkent agreement, when the PM of India, right, okay, Lal Bahadur Shastri went to Russia in Tashkent to talk the Pakistani Prime Minister that there is a conspiracy theory that in Tashkent he was drugged and killed, right? Which one of the following? So that's a fun fact, right? Okay, so Tashkent agreement is correct. It was an agreement between India and the Soviet Union. It was an agreement between, okay, it was an agreement over here between India and Pakistan, which is an absolutely sitter question over here, folks, right? Okay, not the language listed in the 8th schedule, right? 8th schedule, right? Okay, Dogri is there, Gondi I'm not sure, right? Manipuri is there, Nepali is also there, right? Gondi, right? You know there are scheduled languages, right? In the uh, uh, 8th schedule, sorry, okay, not 22nd schedule, 8th schedule. There are the certain languages which are listed, right? Okay, so which is not there over here is Gondi, okay, right? Which of the following considered as a part of the Indian Smriti literature? Okay, the literature in the olden time, they used to be of two types. Smriti means memory, okay, and then Shruti, right? Shruti means to listen, right? Okay, if you have read the first few chapters of Lewis and GK book, then this also you must have learned, okay, right? So as far as I know over here, right, these Vedas were, right, it were, Shruti ones, okay. Vedas were used to be told to their disciples one after the another, okay. So absolutely, for question number 43, right, okay, I'm doing question number 43, right, okay. For question number 43, 4 is definitely not going to be the right answer, right, okay. Puranas, right, Purana, right, okay, Ramayana and Kalpasutra, okay, all of these are correct answer. You could have confused with 1 and 2, but for question number 43, A over here is going to be the correct answer, folks, right, okay. Who among the following, right, okay, was the first chief minister of India, right? The first chief minister, first women chief minister of India was Sucheta Kripalani, folks, okay. Sarojini Naidu was she is also known as the Nightingale of India, right, okay. Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, she represented India in UN, okay, right. Hansha Mehta, Harshad Mehta, I don't know, okay, right. Sucheta Kripalani was the correct answer. For which particular state, you guys can let me know in the comment box, okay. The comment box looks very desolate, okay, right. So kindly write down some stuff, okay. Which of the following statement is or are correct? C. Rajgopalachari was the first recipient of Bharat Ratna, right? This is an absolutely correct answer. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay initiated the concept of integral humanism, yes, which is absolutely correct. We have a railway station named after this particular person, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay. He stayed near Varanasi, okay, right? Exactly the place from what's his name, Lal Bahadur Shastri. I think he also comes from that particular place, right? Okay. So the next, for question 45, C is the answer. Which of the following pair of institute is located correctly? Indian Institute of Advanced Study, Indian Institute of Public Administration, right? Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Services, right? Okay. So for question number 46 over here, right? Okay. So Indian Institute of Advanced Studies over here is correctly matched over here. This is the correct answer, right? As far as I'm not quite sure that Indian Institute of Foreign Studies, Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Service, right? That is the space where IFS are being trained, right? Okay. So that is there in New Delhi. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. I don't think option number 3 is correct. Indian Institute of Public Administration, right? Where exactly is this Indian Institute of Public Administration, right? Okay. That is not located in New Delhi, right? Whether it is located in Hyderabad or something, for sure, right? Okay. So 46A is the correct answer over here, folks, right? Okay. Consider following statement. Arkosim is a festival mainly celebrated by Santhal community. Sanken is a Buddhist festival celebrated in the Arunachal Pradesh, right? Okay. So Arkosim, I don't know about the Arkosim, but a little bit of exploration. It did say that Sanken, okay, Sanken. I did not know, right, about this. So this is based on the exploration, right? Okay. So Sanken over here, it is a Buddhist festival indeed. So question number 47. Question number 47. 2 is going to be the correct answer, right? Operation Maitri, right? Joint military exercise. It was between India and Thailand. Okay, easy, very easy one. Which of the following criteria specifies special category status in India, right? Okay, right? Okay. One thing I know over here, that which of the following states they get this special status from the government of India is that if they have sizable tribal population, right? Okay, sizable tribal population, that is for sure is correct. Okay, strategic coastal zone, okay, 3 does not seem to be the right answer. These two are damn sure wrong answer over here, right? Okay, hilly and difficult terrain is damn sure correct answer, right? 4 also needs to be there, so that is why question number 49 will go ahead with C. Which of the following was the founder of Congress Socialist Party over here, right? Question number 50, the founder of Congress Socialist Party was none other than Acharya Narendra Dev. Back when I was studying in BHU, we had a hostel named Acharya Narendra Dev. Okay, right? Okay. Now over here, which of the following statement about Nilgiri, Surat, Wagashir? Absolutely a sitter question, right? It's not a tiger reserve, biodiversity, tiger reserve. Okay, these are the combatant, ships of the Indian Navy over here, right? Okay, so question number 51. B is the correct answer. INS Wagashir was launched only the last year, only folks, right? So that is the correct answer. Which of the following surveys are being conducted by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Government of India, right? Okay, survey on social consumption, right? Question number 52, right? Okay, survey of social consumption, right, which is correct. Comprehensive modular survey, telecom and ICT skills, periodic level force survey, right? Okay, it is being conducted by Ministry of Statistics, Program Implementation, right? Okay, periodic labor force survey, annual survey on unincorporated enterprises. Okay, so the correct answer for question number 52 is all A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be the correct answer. Okay, which of the following statement is or are correct? The government of India has discontinued the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, right? Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, right? Okay, I think it has not been discontinued, but rather it has been, right? But rather it has been, consolidated into PMFBY. Okay, there were so many other ones before, right? Okay, which has been, it has been brought into only one single one. Okay, right? So the government of India has approved the continuation of restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme over here. So question number 53, right? Right over here, has approved the continuation of restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme, right? Okay, it is not discontinued, it has been consolidated into PMFBY, and even this weather-based crop insurance scheme is also one of the parts of that. Okay, right? Then now you have to match the following. Question number 54 over here, right? Okay, so for question number 54, right? So A, European Union, it can be matched with 1993, right? Okay, so these two are not the right answer. Question number 54, right? And over here, APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Corridor, right? Okay, it obviously then this one will be 3, 1989. Okay, and then question number 54 over here, right? Okay, ASEAN, right? ASEAN, the genesis of ASEAN goes way back to 1967, right? Okay, it happened after the Indo-China War. Okay, right? After the Indo-China War, also India was in such a back foot that we went to do the negotiation over there, right? Okay, so as to ensure peace and stability, right? So question number 54, C is what going to be the correct answer, right? The Art of War is written by Niccolo Machiavelli, right? He's a very famous writer. Those who writes about how exactly a king or a prince should wield force onto the people so as to ensure that their rule is not overthrown, right? Okay, must have studied like Sun Tzu, something like that, but that is not there in the option itself, right? Okay, the original writer of The Art of War was Niccolo Machiavelli, right, which is the correct answer. Okay, the school of thought over here, Machiavellianism. Okay, so it is like if some if some of your subjects are protesting, he will say, go and kill them. Right? Okay. Right? Okay. He Machiavellianism, it goes with a very heavy hand to protect the reins of the government. Okay. Something you can consider it like Chanakya. Okay. Which one of the following military operation was not undertaken by India? Right? Okay. Operation Ablaze was taken by India. Operation Trident, which is a well-known one. Okay. Operation Bandar was also was taken by India. Operation Spiderweb, that is not the correct answer over here for question number 56. We go ahead with B as an answer. Following statement is correct about Arnala and anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. Okay, right? Okay. So which one of the following? Select the answer using the given below. Right? Okay. Statement are correct. This is what they are asking. Right? Question number 57. Right? Okay. It is an indigenously designed aircraft in India, which is absolutely correct. Okay. 57 is it is named after the historic Arnala Fort located in the state of Maharashtra. Right? Which is also the correct one. It has built a public partnership PPP GRSC, right, with L&T Shipyard Limited. Okay, right, L&T Shipyard Limited. That is a little dicey. Okay, I don't know whether Mazgaon Dockyard Limited or maybe Cochin Shipyard Limited has actually built this. Okay, so for question number 57, we go ahead with A as the correct answer. Right? Okay. Robert Prevost become the Catholic Pope after the death of Pope Francis. Right? Pope Francis, which of the following statement is or are correct about him? Okay, he will now be known as Leo 15th. Right? He became the 271st Catholic Pope. Right? He is a dual citizen of United States of America and Peru. Right? Okay. So this question is a little bit of dicey questions. Right? So I'll just I did a little bit of exploration. What it said was that all answers were correct, but then we don't have such an answer, so we will just skip this question, folks. Right? Okay. Salal Dam, which is a very famous dam. Okay. Salal Dam. Okay. Which are about the dams on the Chenab River, right? Okay, right, which is the Chenab River over there in Jammu and Kashmir. Salal Dam, Anal Dam, Bagila Dam are on the Chenab River, right? Okay, which is absolutely correct. Okay, Baglihar Dam has greater height than Salal Dam. Okay, right? Baglihar, which is also correct in nature. Salal Dam is operated by Jammu and Kashmir Power Development Corporation, and Baglihar Dam is operated by NHPC Limited. Okay, so 59, that doesn't sound to be the correct answer, right? We don't have such an answer. 1, 2, 3 correct as well. Okay, 1 and 2 are damn sure correct. Question number 59, A is the correct answer, folks. Right? Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, right? Which of the following statement about Alcaraz? Okay, you guys, Alcaraz. If you guys have habit of following tennis, there is Alcaraz, right? Which has recently been in news, right? It was once a defense fort of Alcaraz Island of America, right? Okay, and it was once a prison, right? Island of America, which is absolutely correct. Okay, it was once occupied a group of Native American students known as Indians of all tribes, which is also correct over here for question number 60. C is going to be the correct answer, folks. Right? Okay, right? Which of the following is correct about Indian military's arsenal? Right? Hammer is a weapon system built for Rafale fighter aircraft. Okay, right? Hammer is a weapon built for Rafale fighter aircraft. Right? Okay, which is absolutely correct. Scalp cruise missile is also known as Storm Shadow. This correct bomb was built a joint venture between India and Russia. Absolutely, you could not have made mistake between the third point for sure. Question number 61. C is the correct answer, right? Okay. Recently, ICAR, right? Recently over here, ICAR, right? Okay, recently ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, has developed the world's first genome edited, okay, first genome edited rice varieties. Which of the following statement is or are correct with respect to the developed products? Okay, the genome edited variety rice, DRR, rice 100, Kamal and Pusa and all that. Okay, Pusa is a place in your Bihar, right? Okay, DST rice have been developed by ICAR, IRI, New Delhi, right? IRR Kamla based on Samba Masuri, right? Mashuri has been shorter duration maturity. Okay, see, I don't know the answer to all of this question. I did a little bit of chat GPT, right? The correct answer was C, right? Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the next one. Which of the following is a good statistics to evaluate whether an economy stand in the financial cycle, right? Whether exactly it is stands in the financial cycle, right? Okay, tax to GDP ratio, no, right? Tax to GDP ratio, this is the internal matter. Fiscal deficit to the GDP ratio, that is also not the correct answer. Household consumption, it mostly indicates something like CPI, consumer price index, right? Okay, right? CPI, consumer price index, right? Or otherwise inflation, right? Okay, credit to GDP ratio over here is the correct answer, right? How exactly the credit of the nation, right, is as compared to the previous cycles, that is the correct answer over here for this particular question, folks, right? Alright, which of the following pairs of initiatives, right? Question number 63, right? Yeah, 63D, right? Which of the following pairs of initiatives of the government of India and their objectives is or are correct, right? Global capabilities, right? Center, Global Capabilities Center, GCC, reshaping corporate landscape, UWIN portal, ease of doing business across state, right? Okay, so for question number 64, right, UWIN portal is not related to the ease of doing business portal. The only correct over here answer is GCC, where reshaping corporate landscape, right? Okay, so this is the objective of the government of India through all of these initiatives over here, right? Okay, social, okay, so which one? Okay, 64 A is the correct answer. Social mobilization and institution development, SMID, is one of the major components of Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, right? BPL card, right? Okay, below poverty line. Antyodaya means below poverty line, right? National Urban Digital Mission, right? Social mobilization and institution development, right? Okay, right? So it is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. Okay, these two are not the correct answer. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana over here is going to be the correct answer, folks, right? Which one of the following uses the symbolic representation of machine codes needed to program a particular processor or processor family over here, right? Okay, machine language, right? It's not machine language. Assembly language 66 is the correct answer. There is nothing like high level language as such. All of the above cannot be the correct answer. Okay, you might get confused over here with machine language, which is not the correct answer. Okay, which are the what are the uses of this software ports? Okay, connect client computer to server. Okay, right? Okay, question number 67, right? Connect client computer to server, which is correct. Connect external devices to computer, right? Okay, identify different services like email, file transfer, right? Software ports, right? This is the correct one. Connecting peripherals like camera and scanners. Okay, this connection does not happen, right? Okay, the hardware to hardware, they connect using the you don't use the software ports. Okay, right? Okay, so for that, D is definitely not the right answer. One is going to be for sure the answer. So now you have to include and 1 or 3, right? 67. We'll go ahead with B as an answer to this particular question, folks, right? Assuming the computer is a 4-bit computer, what is the result? What result is produced after subtraction of 3 from 5 using the 2's complement representation, right? Okay, so now this is the binary digit. Okay, so 2, right? Okay, it will go 2 times, right? 2 one time, right? Okay, so okay, so it is a binary digit one, right? Okay, so first of all you need to learn how exactly to change that in a right, right? Okay, so first of all we need to understand how exactly to change that into the binary digits. Okay, right? Okay, so it is 1010, all that will come over here, right? 4-bit computer, what results in the production, right? Okay, I'm also not that clear about this particular question, right? Okay, what I learned that 4-bit, right, 4-bit computer, right, what results are produced after subtraction 3 from 5 using the 2's complement representation. Okay, right? Okay, I don't know what is the answer to this particular question. I just googled and I found that B over here is going to be the correct answer, right? Okay, 68 also, if you guys know and learn how to solve that, let me know, I would also appreciate that. Okay, 69, which of the following is not a logical operator? It's NOT gate, OR gate, AND gate, all these are logical operator. If you have studied electrical engineering, division over here is there in mathematics and not in your logic over here, right? So D over here is going to be the correct answer, right? Okay, which of the following are the purpose of deploying a firewall, right? Examine each packet arriving from the internet, right? Firewall, right? Okay, which is absolutely correct. Okay, A is absolutely correct. Okay, prevent unauthorized access, again firewall, which is also correct. Block suspicious activity, which is also correct over here. Question number 70, right? D is going to be the correct answer. Interconnect telephone, which is not the right answer. Okay, Amsterdam St. Paul Plateau is located in which of the following oceanic region? Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, Amsterdam St. Paul Plateau is located. Okay, is located in which of the following oceanic region? Right, it's located in southern Indian Ocean. Okay, it might seem like Amsterdam St. Paul Plateau, Amsterdam. Okay, it's like Netherlands, something like that. Okay, right? The answer to this question is C. I have also not done anything, I'll be honest. I've just done Google, and let me know if I'm wrong, I'll correct it over here, right? Which of the following pairs of the city is not correctly matched? Okay, right? Okay, I mean these are the lakes, right? Lake Erie, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, right? Which one of these is not correctly matched, right? Okay, Superior, like Lake Superior is not near, not beside Lake Detroit. Okay, Detroit is a city which is not near Lake Superior over here, right? Okay, 72B is the answer, right? Which of the following statement is correct with reference to lines of latitude, right? Latitude, longitude, you guys know that easy, right? The distance between two consecutive latitude changes slightly from equator to the poles, right? Okay, 73, right? 73 over here, right? If the distance between two successive latitude, okay, right, latitude and longitude, right, if parallels of latitude are drawn, right, at an interval of 1 degree, the total number of parallel thus drawn including the equator, right, including the equator will be 179. Okay, right? Okay, so yeah, I mean this one seems to be the correct answer, right? Okay, over here, if this is your equator, right, this is your 0 degree, right, this is your 0 degree, and it goes down below over here and goes up till 90 degree. Over here it goes up to 90 degree, right? Okay, so including the equator over here, right? Question number 73, the distance between two successive latitude, right, changes slightly from equator to pole, right. A is not your correct answer, right. Okay, A is not your correct answer for sure, right. Over here, now if you want to move ahead with 2, if the parallels of the latitude are drawn at an interval of 1 degree, right, the total number of parallels thus drawn is including the equator. I think including the equator, right. Okay, if this is the earth, this is your 0 degree, which is the equator. Over here it is 90, right, 1 degree each. Over here it is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180 plus 1. I think it should be 181 rather than 179. Okay, so for question number 73, we go ahead with D as an answer, folks. Okay, arrange the following major elements present in the Earth's crust in ascending order in weight percentage. Okay, in weight percentage, question number 74, right. Okay, right. Okay, ascending order, right. Okay, so first of all, over here, which one is the least one? Calcium, right. 2, then comes your aluminium, then comes your silicon, and oxygen is pretty much abundant over here, right. Okay, oxygen in the earth's crust is more, right. Iron is also more, right, but that option is not there, so you don't have to worry. I could easily guess that 4 was going to be in the end for sure, right. Okay, and calcium was less in amount for sure, right. Okay, 74, C is the answer. Okay, my knowledge little bit, it is supplemented by Google and Chat GPT as well. I don't know each and every question out of this, right. So I learned it by myself and then I'm teaching you, right. Okay, question number 75, select the answer using the code given below. Comoros, right, Baffin Islands, right, Sri Lanka, right, Andaman Islands, right. Okay, so for question number 75 over here, right, over here Andaman Islands, right. Okay, Andaman Islands is in the Eurasian plate. Okay, so D3 has to be the answer. That I knew. Okay, D3, that I knew. Now what will I do? Like Comoros Island, right, that is in the African plate, right. Baffin Islands, right. Okay, Baffin Islands over here, right. Okay, so over here Baffin Islands, we'll go with North American plate, right. Okay, right. Sri Lanka is in Indo-Australian plate, right. So 75, D is the answer, which is the actual answer as well. Okay, that's how the guess I will be making for this particular question, folks, right. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the next one over here, right. Okay, Richter scale, they have asked the question about the Richter scale over here, right. Okay, right. Which of the following statement which refers to Richter scale is or are correct? It is the intensity scale of an earthquake, right, which seems to be the correct answer, right. Okay, seems to be the correct answer. Richter indicates the amount of energy released during the earthquake, right. So Richter scale, how it works is that there is a hanging knob sort of stuff, and there is a paper placed over here, and when it is like very sensitive, right, extremely sensitive in nature, and what it will do, it will draw a line in the paper, right, when the earthquake comes over here, right. Okay, which of the following statement with reference to the Richter scale is or are correct? It is the intensity scale of an earthquake, right. Right, intensity scale, it seems to be the correct answer, but no, that is not the right answer. Richter scale, the amount of energy released during this is the correct answer, right. Okay, it measures the amount of energy released during the earthquake. 76, I'll go ahead with B as an answer over here, right. Okay, so the following statement with reference to glacial trough is or are correct? Alpine glaciers strip valleys alpine glaciers strip valleys of their soil, regolith sediment to form glacial troughs. Okay, when the sea level is below the floor of a glacial trough, right, the sea water enters as the ice front recedes, creating a fjord. Okay, fjord. Okay, fjord. Right, something like that. I hope your geography teacher must have taught you about that. Right. Okay. So question number 72. Both 1 and 2 over here are the correct answer, folks. Right. Okay. Consider the following statement with reference to mid-latitude deciduous forest. Okay. Deciduous forest, question number 78 over here. Right. Mid-latitude deciduous forest consists largely of trees that drop their leaves during the summer season. Right. Okay. During the summer season. Right. Okay. Deciduous forest. Mid-latitude deciduous forests are native to eastern North America and Western Europe, which is correct. In Asia, the mid-latitude deciduous forest occurs as a belt between the boreal forest north and the steppes to the south, which is also correct in nature, as ChatGPT says. Okay, beech, hickory, walnut are common examples of tree found in the mid-latitude deciduous forest. So this is also the correct answer. Okay, as I've told to you, I've googled all of this. I don't know, and the Google said that 2, 3, 4 are the correct answer for this particular question. Okay, arrange the following permanent gases present in atmosphere in ascending order. Right. Okay. Right. Which one? Right. Which one is the most over there? Right. One thing easily you could have guessed. One thing easily you could have. See, helium is a very reactive one. Okay. So helium will not be here for sure. Hydrogen is also very reactive if it is alone. So these two also cannot be there. Okay, right? Okay. So hydrogen and helium has to come in the first two. Right? Okay. Hydrogen and helium has to come in the first two. Right? Okay. So neon, xenon. Okay. Xenon is also very 79. Okay, xenon is also very reactive sort of gas. Okay, so it should come early. Okay, so over here your hydrogen, then your xenon, then your helium, and then neon. Okay, my best guess is that C should be the right answer for this particular question. Okay, right? A and D are absolutely not the right answer. Okay, right? Okay, right? Okay. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. The pattern of planetary winds largely depends upon which of the following factors, right? Latitudinal variation of atmospheric heating, the distribution of continents and oceans, the rotation of the earth, right? For question number 80, right? Okay, rotation of the earth, damn sure which is the correct answer. 3 has to be there. Latitudinal variation of atmospheric heating, that is also correct. Okay, must have read that in your Lucent GK book, which we have been prescribing, right? So 1 and 3 has to be there, so which means the distribution of continents and ocean will also going to be the correct answer. Question number 80, D is going to be the correct answer. Which of the following statement with reference to water vapor in the atmosphere is or are correct? Okay, it has a role to play in the stability and instability in the air. It acts like blanket, allowing the earth to neither become too hot or too cold, right? Okay, both of it over here are the correct answer. It has a role to play in the stability and instability in the air. It acts like a blanket, allowing the earth to neither become too hot or too cold. Both C and D over here are going to be the correct answer, folks, right? Okay, right? Then this is a very basic geography type of question. I'm sure your geography teachers must have taught you. Consider the following pairs with reference to the world climate type and their characteristics: tropical, wet and dry, right? Mid latitude, steppe climate, humid, subtropical, marine, west coast, right? Okay, right? Marine west coast, right, winter dry season. Okay, right. How many of the pairs are no dry season, severely cold summer? Okay, severely cold summer, right? Okay, 82, right? I don't think this is the right answer. Okay, right? Warm summer, humid marine west coast, right? No dry season, it's a dry season, right? In a marine, do you have summer season? Do you have summer season in, sorry, do you have cold summer season, right? Do you have a cold summer season, something like that? Cold summer season that happens, okay, in the desert areas, okay, Rajasthan type, okay, right? Marine, whether it is east coast or west coast, marine means Mediterranean type, okay, it does not have cold, okay, right? That is not the correct. Humid subtropical, no dry season, warm summer, which is correct. Mid latitude steppe, mid latitude semi arid or dry, tropical wet and dry, winter dry season. These are all correct one for question number 82. We'll go ahead with C, saying that three of these are correct answers over here, folks. Right? Okay. Now we'll move to the next one. Right? Again, we have the geography one. Identify the climate type. Okay. Based on the given below characteristics. Question number 83. Right? Okay. Question number 83. The annual precipitation is low and is around 15 centimeter. The development of pronounced winter anticyclone and their weakening in the summer sets in monsoon like reversal of a wind in this region. Polar winds, pole winds, summer temperatures are low, right? So it is not tundra for sure, it is not cold climate, right? You might have a doubt between the humid subtropical climate and subtropical steppe. The correct answer for this question is 83A, right? Tundra is what? Okay, Greenland. Okay, tundra, right? Right, ice caps, those are tundra, right? Okay, so for the 83, we went ahead with question number A as an answer to this question. Okay, question number 84 over here. Consider the following statements with reference to the cotton textile industries in India. Cotton textile industry has over time spread to other parts of the country beyond Gujarat and Maharashtra. Absolutely right. Okay, absolutely right. You have cotton textile industry, right? Okay, raw cotton is not a way losing raw material. Okay, right? Raw cotton is not a weight losing raw material. What it means is that when you do the processing, does it lose its weight or not? Okay, right? It does. Okay, right? So 2 is not the correct answer over here for sure, right? Okay, but I honestly felt that cotton industry, right, apart from Gujarat and Maharashtra, it is there in deep down Kanchipuram, right? It is there in Varanasi, it is there in Bhagalpur, right? It is there in Surat, right? Surat is in Gujarat only, right? Okay, so it has what spread over to the other places as well, folks. Okay, but the major concentration, right? Okay, the major concentration still stays with Gujarat and Maharashtra, and that is why we go ahead with 84. D as the correct answer, right? Okay, will be the 84 question number. D as the correct answer. Okay, Indore city in Madhya Pradesh is situated in which one of the following regions, right? Okay, right? Okay, it is Indore. Indore is located in the Malwa Plateau region. Okay, Malwa Plateau is the same plateau which is there, which is Andhra Pradesh, right? Andhra Pradesh, basically at the heart of India, right? That is a Malwa Plateau, right? So for Indore, you will be having answer as Malwa Plateau. Which one of the following classes, right? Which one of the following classes of towns in India holds the highest percentage of urban population, right? As per 2011 census, right? Okay, so the answer to this particular question is class 2 cities. Okay, right? Class 2 towns has the highest percentage of urban population of the in India as per the census given by 2000, given in 2011. Golden Quadrilateral Highway does not pass through which of the following cities? Okay, right? Golden Quadrilateral, you know, it is something like this. Okay, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, right? Okay, so question number 87, which one is the right answer? Right? Okay, it does not pass through, right? Golden Quadrilateral, it does not pass through Indore. Bhubaneswar is in the eastern coast, so it does pass through Bhubaneswar. So these two are 87, right? Right? Okay, it does not, what is that question? Question number 87, does not pass through, right? It does not pass through Indore, and as it does pass through Bhubaneswar, right? So these two are not going to be the correct answer. D is going to be the correct answer for this particular question, folks, right? Okay, it does not pass through, right, Lucknow and Indore, right? That is your Golden Quadrilateral, right? Question number 86, Deen Dayal Port is situated at the head of Gulf of Khambat, right? Sorry, question number 88 now. Okay, right? Question number 88, right? The answer for this question, right? Statements are correct, right? Deen Dayal Port is situated at the head of Gulf of Khambat, which is not the wrong answer, right? Cochin Port is situated at the head of, right? Okay, Wemband Kayal, right? Wemband Kayal is the location in Kerala, right, where Cochin Port is situated. 3 is the correct answer, right? Okay, Marmugua Port is situated at the entrance of Zuari Estuary, which is also correct, right? So 2 and 3 is correct. Paradip Port is situated in the Godavari Delta, right? Okay, Godavari Delta, which you have to find out and tell me. I don't really think which is the correct answer. Paradip Port is situated in the Godavari. Godavari is in your Andhra Pradesh, right? Okay, Paradip Post is in Odisha, right? Okay, I hope over here the answer is Krishna River. Okay, right? Okay, the delta of Krishna River. So 4 and 1 are not the correct answer. The correct answer for question number 88 is C, 2 and 3, folks, right? Which of the following among is not the atmosphere natural disaster, right? Okay, question number 89, which was a very sitter question, avalanche, right? Okay, right, atmospheric natural disaster, right? With reference, which of the following statement with reference to National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM is or are correct. It was constituted in the year 2006, right? Okay, this is what it is saying, right? Which is not the right answer. It was constituted in a different year. Under the Disaster Management Act 2005, the institute has been entrusted to assist in national level policy formulation with reference to disaster management. For question number 92 is going to be the correct answer, folks, right? Question number 91. Okay, now we have, these are the basic terminologies of your economics, right? Which of the following, which one among the following, right, pairs of type of forms and feature is not correctly match? Okay, right? So question number 91 over here, right? Okay, monopoly form, if you look at it, monopoly form means single player, okay, one player, right, produce an efficient level of output. This is the wrong one. Okay, monopolistic firm is the price setter, because there is only one firm, right? Perfectly competitive firm produces specially optimum output, right? Perfectly competitive firm, because there are more number of firms and each of them, those firms compete to give them the best product, right, offering to the consumers, which is correct. Okay, oligopoly, interdependence in decision making, right? There are only two players, right? So each of those two players will collude and they will give the answer to the market, right? That is a oligopoly, right? Union Budget 2025 increased the sectoral cap of FDI to 100% from 74%. Right? Okay? Right? Okay? Right? Okay, so Union Budget 2025 increased the sectoral cap of FDI to 100% from 74% for which particular one over here, right? Okay, so it was increased for over here your insurance sector, right? Okay, so basically it was eased in such a way so that the other players could also come and take part over here, right? Okay, right? So now we'll move to the next one over here. The practice of reducing the size of the product. Okay, the practice of reducing the size of the product while maintaining its sticker price is called as, right? It is a very important one, right? Shrinkflation. It is called as shrinkflation. If you have seen the Parle-G biscuit, right? Parle-G biscuit, initially it used to come like this packet, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, only for 3 rupees, right? They used to give 15 biscuits. They did 14, then they did 13, then they did 12. Now you get 8 or 10 biscuits, right? 6 to 8 biscuits in a 3 rupees packet. Okay, right? So the sticker price remains the same, but then the quantity slowly and gradually are being reduced. So that is called as your shrinkflation, folks, right? Consider following statement about the innovation and research and development to India. India's rank in global innovation index reported by World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, right? Okay, question number 94, has improved significantly from 2015 to 2024. Yes, every sector, everything, it is improving. So one is correct for sure. Okay, these two are damn sure not the answer. Funding of research and development is secured primarily from the private sector entities, and is sectorally concentrated in pharmaceutical and information technology. Okay, it is saying that mostly the funding comes from the private sector, and it is mostly concentrated in pharmaceutical and information technology. We really can't conclude anything like that. Okay, right? So it depends. Yeah, information technology, IT, maybe, yeah, you can say, right? But that is also not the correct answer. IT alone you could have said, right? Service industry, pharmaceuticals, right? I mean, it depends upon the preference of the private players where exactly they would like to invest. So for question number 94, A is what the correct answer. Okay, consider following statement about the Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship, IIE, right? Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship, IIE, was established in which particular year, right? It was not established in 1999. Okay, that's the wrong answer over here. The main aim of the institute is to provide training, research and consulting activities for small and micro industries enterprises, which is correct. So we'll go ahead with question number 95, B, as the correct answer, folks, right? Okay, question number 96, consider the following statement about union government's expenditure on revenue account, right, and effective capital expenditure, right? Effective capital expenditure as percentage of GDP has increased from 2020-21 to 2023-24, right? That is the first one. Expenditure on revenue account as, right, expenditure on revenue account as percentage of GDP has increased from 2020-21 to 2023-24, right? Question number 96 over here, right? Effective capital expenditure has increased. Yes, A is correct. Okay, 1 is correct. That is damn sure, right? Expenditure on the revenue account, right, as percentage of GDP has increased, right? Okay, right? So current account, the capital expenditure, right? Capital expenditure means it's more like the day-to-day expenditure of the government, right? Okay, expenditure on revenue account. Okay, revenue account is more like the inflows. Okay, so not both 1 and 2, right? Over here 96, A is going to be the correct answer. Which one among the following statement about the district as export hubs DEH in India is not correct? Okay, right? So DEH was launched in August 2019, which is your correct answer, right? Okay, the aim of DEH is to boost exports only selected districts of the country. Okay, right? No, like almost all the districts have been earmarked, right? So B is not the correct answer. India's foreign trade policy reiterated the roles of DEH districts as export hubs, right? DEH aims to promote exports by providing financial inclusion and facilitating logistical and infrastructural support, which is absolutely a correct answer over here. 97, right? Okay. 98, which of the following statement about Tim Tare is or are correct, right? So TTT is a pioneer initiative, right? That aims, right? That aims at imparting essential life skills to adolescent students across India. That is correct. TTT is a pioneering initiative that aims at imparting vocational and technical skills to the students across the nation. Yes, both of it over here are the correct answer regarding Tim Tare, TTT over here, right? Okay. Consider the following statement regarding the annual periodic labor force survey PLSF report 2023-24 by National Statistical Organization, right? This is your question number 99, folks. Okay, question number 99. Okay, the agriculture sector remains the dominant in employment. Yes, which is still correct till date, with the share rising from 44% to 46. This is absolutely correct. The share of female workers in agriculture has increased during the period this to this. Yes, absolutely. Both of these are correct ones. Okay. Which of the following platform marks a transformative step in India's immunization? Right. Immunization effort by digitizing vaccine records for pregnant women and children up to, right, 16 years of age, right? The correct answer is UWin app. Okay, UWin app over here consists of all of your the immunization details of the children, right? Okay, now let's move on to the next question. 101, consider a statement about the Bengal countryside at the time of permanent settlement. The zamindars troops were disbanded. Okay, right? Okay, which of the are the correct? Okay, consider the following statement about the Bengal countryside at the time of permanent settlement, right? Permanent settlement is also a very important topic, I hope, right? The zamindar troops were disbanded, which is correct. Okay, within the village the power of jotedars were more effective than that of zamindars, which is also correct. 1 and 2 has to be there, right? The East India Company made a rule that the property of women would not be taken over, right? Okay, right, which is not the correct answer, right? Adhyars were sharecroppers on the land owned by Bargardars. Okay. Yeah, which is also the correct answer. Okay, yeah. I know you must be having a lot of answer, lot of questions in your mind. I can understand that, but yeah, that is what it is. Okay, right? Okay, so yeah, all those of you who are tuning in from the southern part of India, you know Kudi Arsu was written by none other than E.V. Ramasamy Naikar, right? Okay, so for A, 4 is going to be the damn sure answer, right? Okay, you know in the southern part of India, the one he was responsible for for being the voice of the minorities and all that stuff, right? Okay, so for question number 1 or 2, right? Kisan Bulletin, right? Kisan Bulletin was given by none other than Arvindo Ghosh, right? Okay, Bombay Chronicles was given by Firoz Shah Mehta, right? Bhavani Mandir was given by Indulal Yagnik. So 1 or 2, question number 1 or 2, A is going to be the answer, right? Even though if you would have learnt about Kudi Arasu, right, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, then at least you could have, get done with these two, right? Bombay Chronicles, this has been asked to you so many times, thousands of times in your UPSC examinations, not just CDS, NDA, CGCAT, CAPF, even civil services as well. Okay, right? Ghadar movement. Now this is also very important one. Ghadar movement, right? Okay. I hope you guys must have been learnt about that. Ghadar movement began 1913, San Francisco. Absolutely correct. Okay. Founded by Sohan Singh Bakhna, which is correct. Took its name from the weekly Ghadar brought out in several Indian languages. Right. So 102. All of these are correct. Right. D is going to be the correct answer. Right. Chronologically arrange the formation of the following political association being the earliest, right? Okay, right? So Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, this was the first one. Okay, Indian Association, this was the second one. Madras Mahajan Sabha, you check for the years. Bombay Presidency Association, this was the fourth one, right? Okay, so 104 A over here is the correct answer, folks. Which of the following periods are evidence of the plowed fields, right? Plowed fields, Kalibangan in Rajasthan, right? Okay, Kalibangan, we are talking about Kalibangan means what? Okay, we are talking about Harappa civilization, right? Now it is about the early, mature, or late, or Catholic. Okay, I don't know what you mean by Catholic over here, right? Okay, you have only three options, right? Plowed field, right? It was an early, mature, like when the civilization was new, right? When the civilization was new, early civilization, will they have that? Okay, that plowed field. Plowed field means what? Okay, it's plowed field, PLOUGHED. Plowed field means what? Okay, it's a symbol of maturity, isn't it? Okay, right? Okay, so even the early Harappa civilization, right, Indus Valley civilization, they had this plowed field over here, right? Okay, so for question number 105, A is the answer, folks, right? Mature, they were reaping the benefits of it in the full swing. In the later, what happened, that there's theory that some flood and all that happened and the civilization was lost. Okay, right? Okay, they also, like, people also talk about that there was like earthquake, volcano, this and that, and the entire city was buried alive, right? Okay, so consider the following events: Muslim League resolution for Pakistan, Gandhi Irwin Pact, Dandi March, right? Second round table conference. Which one of these happened one after the another? Okay, right? So question number 106, right? Question number 106, right? Okay, when did Gandhi March happen? Okay, when did Gandhi March happen? Okay, Muslim League resolution for Pakistan, I think this one was the latest one, isn't it? Okay, this one was the latest one, so one has to come in the end for sure, right? Okay, Dandi March happened, right? Salt Satyagraha, isn't it? Salt Satyagraha, right? Gandhi Irwin Pact was somewhere around close to 1990, right? Okay, so 2 will come after 3 only, so this is not the right answer, isn't it? 2 will come after 3 only, right? 1 has to be in the end. Okay, second round table conference. Okay, right? Second round, first round table, it happened in somewhere around 30s, right? Okay, so what I think over here is that what do you guys think about this particular one? Okay, right? Gandhi Irwin Pact, right? The first one, only we have to worry about this 2 and 4, Gandhi Irwin Pact and Dandi March, right? Okay, Gandhi Irwin Pact and Dandi March is what we are looking at, folks, right? What do you guys think? Okay, right? So I did a little bit of chat GPT over here, right? Okay, then yeah, absolutely, third one, Dandi March is the first one, then Gandhi Irwin Pact happened, then round table conference, second round table conference happened, which was the latest one, and after that Muslim League passed its resolution for creating a separate electorate over here, right? So for question number 106, we go ahead with B as the correct answer, folks, right? Okay. Girnar, right? Cholistan, right? Mant near Mathura, Sanati, right? Okay. Terracotta model of plough, headless standing figure of Kanishka, Ashoka pillar, right? How many pairs is or are correctly matched? Okay, right? How many of these are is or are correctly matched? Okay, so what do you guys think about this particular one? Okay, right? Girnar Sudarshan Lake, right? Right? Terracotta plough field, headless of Kanishka, right? Okay, I strongly feel that, okay, for question number 107, 3 is the correct answer, okay, right? That's what I've learned from the open sources here, right? Okay, you guys can also look through that. Okay, I have got the key, right? And as per the key, the chat GPT that I have done, okay, C is the correct answer. Now it's you have to find out. I'm not quite sure whether like Girnar is the correct, is the wrong. There is one option which is incorrectly matched. Okay, which one is that? You found out and tell to me. Okay, right? With reference to, right, Amara Nyaka system, right? Which of the following statement is not correct? It was a major political innovation of Vijayanagara, right, empire. They were military commanders who were given territories to govern and collect taxes and other dues from the peasants, craftspersons, traders in the area. They retained part of the revenues for the personal use and to maintain a stipulated contingent of horses and elephants. They were not allowed to use their share of revenue for the maintenance of, right, temples. Okay, for 108, the answer is D. Okay, again I have got the answer from Google, Chat GPT and stuff. So you please go and explore that in a bit more detail, right? Okay, the popular poem खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी, like a man she fought was the Rani of Jhansi, was written by Mahadevi Verma. Okay, right? Subhadra Kumari Chauhan, this is the correct answer. Amrita Pritam Balamai Amma. Okay, you could have confused with Mahadevi Verma, but that is not the right answer. Consider the following statement about Ellora, right? 110. This historical site is associated exclusively with Buddhism. The Kailasa temple at Ellora has been built of dressed stone and kiln fired bricks. Okay, right? So 110, right? Over here, the answer is neither one nor two, right? Okay, again, I have just done Google. Okay, right? Which of the following states are the Guntupalli Buddhist caves are located? Okay, right? 111 Guntupalli Buddhist caves, right? Sounds like Andhra Pradesh, but which is not the correct answer. Karnataka also not the correct answer. Tamil Nadu over here is the correct answer. Sorry. Okay, 111, right? Okay, sorry. Guntupalli, right? The name itself says Guntupalli. Okay, Guntupalli. The name sounds like an Andhra sort of name. My bad. Okay, these three are not the right answer. Andhra Pradesh over here is the right answer, folks. Right? Okay. Consider the following statement about the Ajanta cave painting. The painting depicts yakshas, gandharvas, and apsaras. Right? The artists have used the technique of providing multiple perspectives. Right? Okay. Ajanta caves, Ajanta cave painting. They have asked about the Ajanta cave painting, which is also a very very important one. Right? Ajanta cave painting. Ellora also they asked you. Right? Ajanta, Ellora. Both of these have asked you. While traveling from Chennai to Delhi, I often come across all of these places, right? Okay, on the Google map, I see where exactly I am traveling, and each of these places are nearby, the vicinity of 50 kilometers only, right? Okay. Neel Darpan is a play that depicts the atrocities of indigo planters, was translated into English, right? It was originally written by Deen Bandhu Mitra in Hindi, right? Okay, right? And it was translated to English by James Long, okay, right? That is during then only Champaran, right? Champaran Satyagraha, I don't know, 1718 or 19, 1718 or 19, okay. The Gandhiji came to Bihar so as to listen to the plight of the people. There was a farmer who walked all the way, right? Who walked all the way from Bihar to Delhi to meet Gandhiji, right? Okay, on foot. He walked along the railway track and so as to ask him, sir, look, we are facing atrocities, please come and see us, okay. Deen Bandhu Mitra is the original writer of it. Now they are asking who has translated that, okay. The person who has translated that was, right, none other than was James Long, okay. All right, question number 114 with reference to revolt of 1857. Very, very important. Consider the following statement. Shah Mal mobilized the people of Bharat, of Bharut region of Uttar Pradesh, and captured the bungalow of an Englishman and converted into Hall of Justice. Gunnu was a co-leader of the Singhbhum region of Chota Nagpur, right? Chota Nagpur region is the present day of Jharkhand, right? Okay. So, right, for question number 114, the answer is one only, right? Okay. Shah Mal mobilized the people of Bharut region in Uttar Pradesh and captured the bungalow of an Englishman and converted it to the Hall of Justice over here, right? Okay. Which of the following? I mean, there is no clarity about the second one, okay, right? So that we have left it all alone. Which of the following books portrays the three images of Mother Goddess, right? Mother as she was, Mother as she is, Mother as she will be, right? Okay. So for question number 115, okay, this is depiction from the Anand Math, right? Who has written Anand Math? Bankim Chand, okay, Bankim Chand Chattopadhyay Chatterjee, something like that, okay, right? Okay, he has written and depicted the different kinds of mother over there, right? So 115 answer is C, folks, right? With reference to the women archivers in the modern India, consider the following statement. Pandita Ramabai published a book, Comparison Between Women and Men, where she protested against the colonial view of the men, enjoyed all the rights, opportunities and benefits of change. Tarabai Shinde worked in the field of medicine to reduce child mortality in the rural India. Sarojini had led the delegation of London to demand for female franchise. Okay, I don't know how many of these are correct, okay, but I just did a little bit of chat GPT. The chat GPT gave the answer as only one of the statement is correct, and which one, that you have to find out, okay. The Sannikata salt workers, known as the salt satyagraha, okay, right? Sannikata salt workers, okay, right? Salt satyagraha happened over there in Karnataka as well, okay. While Gandhiji was doing Dandi March, during those time only the salt satyagraha was happening across the nation, and the Sannikata salt workers from the state of Karnataka were also doing their bit, okay. The Kalaram temple, known as the temple entry movement, the Kalaram temple in the early 20th century is located in which of the states in India, okay, right? So the Kalaram temple, known for temple entry movement, it started from the state of Maharashtra, right? Okay, in the present day there are temples in Kerala and stuff, right, where the entry of women are not allowed, right? Okay, or some like menstruating women and all that stuff, they are not allowed, okay, right? Okay. Matangini Hazra and Lakshman Naik sacrificed their sacrificed their lives in Bardoli Satyagraha, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, okay, right? Okay, Matangini Hazra and Lakshman Naik, right? They were associated with Quit India movement, folks, right? Okay, the 119 answer is D, right? With reference to the history of India, the word Kopeki, right? Kopeki is associated with nothing other than coins. Over here is the right answer, folks, right? Okay, so with this I have given you the entire length and breadth of the question papers over here, folks, right? Okay, let me just give you one verdict over here, right? Paper was not easy for sure, right? Not easy for sure. I would do a little bit of revision in what I have been predicting for the your cutoff. I'm sure it will not go above 90 for sure. Okay, it is likely to be below 90, 100%. Okay, no denial of that fact. Questions, the broad outline of the questions were the same, but then they have asked in depth. Okay, they have asked the question in pretty much depth so that you cannot really hide yourself, folks, right? So thank you so much all of you for joining, and we'll get going with the next part over here very soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See ya.